All right, people. So today's topic of the day. All right. So this is a powerful one. But how are we going to start this one? Let's why am I smiling at?
Yeah, Marks.
He's back.
All right, you have to deal with that. You have to deal with that. You just ruin things.
So,
Yes.
Goodness me.
Like we were saying to you guys, yeah, today we wanted to reveal information to you guys about TMB, the new Blxck, everything that we've been working on behind the scenes.
Yep.
And basically let you guys know that this time is imminent. The time is imminent in terms of us releasing what we've been working behind the scenes on, right? So, I guess we can go straight into it, innit?
All right, let me see if this works. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, y'all can see it in the room?
Yeah.
All right, okay. You're centered. Margs is centered.
Oh, I like that little cool box on the side.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So, welcome, everybody, to my silly presentation.
Not silly.
So the new Blxck, I'm not sure if anybody or everybody understands what the new Blxck is, but let me just quickly give you a little synopsis. We are a startup media company with 3 verticals. Esther, do you know the verticals?
So don't put me on the spot like that.
Marks, do you know the verticals? What is this particular business model going to be?
you're going to tell me right now.
How about you, Emmanuel?
Of course, Emmanuel knows.
Of course. Well, we need you, Brent, to tell the people. It's best
He said
that
the time
way.
is now for you to
All
tell
right.
the people.
You know what I mean? Because you know I'll go on for days. So let's be streamlined.
That's true. You know you bring other people in.
So the verticals are as follows. 1, expansion of my current studio.
Yep,
Period.
expansion of the current studio. I knew that.
All right, then.
Number 2, since as you knew the first one.
Oh,
Number 2,
You don't do too much.
all right. Number 2, Emmanuel.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2 is a podcast network.
Absolutely.
I knew that.
The first podcast network for Black Britain.
Oh, sorry. Do you know what I thought you were going to say? In my head, I heard you saying the first podcast show of the network. And I thought you were going to shout TDA. So I was like, my bad, y'all.
All right. When I say podcast network, I am talking about a network with shows that cover all fields of interest and industry. Everything. But for Black Britain. You understand?
Amen.
And the third vertical
Speak on it.
is, now that you know the first 2, Esther, what's the third one?
Sorry, this is intense. I've got stage fright.
Marks, I've given you the first 2, so going to be 1 more left.
The media network.
The media network is essentially the podcast network.
Oh, okay.
Within the expansion, we've got the podcast network. I thought there was only 2.
What's the thing that's going to scale? What's the thing that all the investors are going to be really, 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 really licking their lips for? Especially in this age and
The opportunity for investment. Definitely.
Emmanuel?
I can't wait.
Investment.
Look at this guy.
You know what I'm saying?
Distribution platform, the tech.
Yes, 100%.
Do you understand? When I say distribution platform, do you know what I'm talking about, Esther?
Sorry.
And the thing is, I talk to you the most.
I
But
know, but we talk about stuff casually, not in
Alright.
like presentation
Okay,
words.
all right then.
God.
All right then. Do you know what a DSP is, Mags?
What a DSP is?
Yeah, distribution platform. What is it?
It's a platform where you can distribute all your
Like what? Give me some examples of a DSP.
Spotify,
Netflix. Stuff.
Netflix.
Yeah.
I was going to be all of that rolled into one.
Okay.
Period.
So that's what this particular initiative is. The New Blxck is a startup media company that has 3 verticals. Now, currently in this studio, do we kind of not have that on a small scale?
Basically.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Right? I have this particular space. I can have 7 shows during the day, back
And
to
you
back
do.
to back to back,
Yeah.
right? I can have that as the network, 7 Show network,
Yep.
right? And I can use YouTube in order to
distribute,
broadcast
stuff,
it, right?
yeah.
Cool. So this particular project is just expanding on what I currently have, right?
Yeah.
However, over the years, what have you seen from this particular small space, Mags? What have you seen grow from this particular small space?
Some of the best black podcasts in the
Talk
country.
it up, because you are in there too.
Facts. Some of the best. That's big facts. Some of the best and biggest black podcasts in this country are all in this room right here.
Do you agree with that, Esther?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
How about you, Emmanuel?
100%. You know what this is? This is the Big Bang. So you know how you had the universe 13.7 billion years ago come from that dense, infinitely small moment. This is that.
If you subscribe to that, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. But you get what I'm trying to say.
You need to be a
know what I'm
believer,
saying?
right?
Believer.
Fair
This
enough.
is that spark.
Now, I do believe that every single viewer or listener, whether they listen to 3 Shots, The Receipts, Laid Bare, No Behavior, Black Girls, and anybody who has tuned into anything from out of this particular room is a believer. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Now, I have seen over the years A, B, C-list celebrities come through here to my humble abode and sit down with these particular voices. Do you understand? I've seen people come and sit on this couch, talk to you, Loons, and Beanos. I've seen the same with 3 Shots. I've seen the same with Receipts, and I've seen that we have something here that we can build on. There's a foundation that's being built. You know how every time, like any music conversation comes up in the UK about rap, and you seem to find your way in there because you are the genesis. Do you understand? Sometimes you have to remind people because they seem to forget. Do you understand? So I kind of saw this as a spark that if given room and oxygen, it could basically be built into something that could help the community. And as you know, I care about the community. Even though large parts of the community don't care about community, we've been politicking, we've been theorizing in this room every single day, knowing full well what it is we are building behind the scenes, because it is community first and last with all of us. You believe that?
Alpha and Omega.
Do you believe that?
Absolutely, man.
Do you believe that, Emmanuel?
Facts, man.
All right. So over the last few months, we have been working diligently. We have been talking to many of the people within the cultural creative space, right? All the tastemakers and trendsetters in this community of ours about this particular vision, right? And we've asked them to basically throw their hat in the ring.
Yep.
We've asked them to step up and be counted for the people.
Yep.
That has been the resounding message I have been asking or putting to them each time. This is going to be a selfless act. Even though everybody's going to benefit, it's going to be selfless so that we can build infrastructure for Black Britain. It's all about building infrastructure for what, Manuel?
For Black
For
Britain.
Black Britain. We've been talking about, we've been complaining for years. All we do is, woe is who?
Boy, what is
Woe
that?
is who? Woe is every single time.
Not no more though.
Topics are generated for our podcast, our topic of the day is because of the crying and the crying and the crying. And Iman gets vexed sometimes saying, why can't we just do for self?
Do for self.
Why can't? But sometimes you need to be able to see what that actually looks like.
Absolutely.
Right? I think there was a few months ago, we talked about how could we actually make a tangible difference? And we said that within the media space, we understand its power and influence, right, Emmanuel? And if we're going to be doing anything tangibly, we need infrastructure in the media space. We need to be able to monopolize our voices in order to create anything that resembles change, right?
Yep.
So, like I said, I talked to quite a few of the people that you know very well, whether it is that you've listened to them over the years, whether it is you've come and you've seen them sit on our couch as a guest. And I told them we need to do something. We need to do it in this particular period of transition. I feel that within the last, 10, 15 years, Black Britain has been showing that they can say F you to the machine.
Yeah.
Look at your podcast, Max. Loons came out of jail and you've changed his life overnight. You've seen that possible. So you know full well, once it is that you have resources, once it is that you have a little infrastructure, you can basically shift things.
100%.
100%. Now, let me quickly run through what the new Black is.
Right, people, school is in session. Pay attention.
Let me see if the slide works. Let me see. I have to probably do this. And then do this. Movement.
Not movement.
It's the first time I'm doing it. I didn't even test this out. All right, cool. So we have a problem. And the problem, in fact, Esther,
All right.
do the honors.
Because clearly I have great eyesight.
Oh, sorry.
All right. No, it's fine. No, we're here now.
I can see it.
No, we're here.
All right.
You want to make a scene? Let's have a scene. All right. So no niche platform exists to amplify and distribute Black British creative content. That is true. Unique talent and voices in the UK are not leveraged in mass media. Run that back. Unique talent and voices in the UK are not leveraged in mass media, and the Black creator economy remains untapped.
Do you agree with that, Mags?
It's an untapped resource, definitely.
How about you, Emmanuel?
Most definitely.
How
man.
powerful is this untapped resource if it is that you'll be able to harness it?
Shaking
There's no
tables.
limits, man.
No
There's no limits.
mother effing limits, right? And I believe that. Do you believe that, Mags?
Yeah, 100%. I
All
want to be
right,
here every
then.
morning.
Next slide.
I'm gonna be here every morning. All right. So here's the solution, right? So build a podcast network through studio expansion and monetize best of British Black talent by creating original content targeted at Gen Zs and the millennials.
All right, then. Cool. So, Emmanuel, the importance of Black Britain having their own media powerhouse. What are the main key points here? Oh, you can't really see it, can you?
It's a bit mad.
Can you swing it over to Emmanuel, please?
Of course I can.
This is his bit.
This is a bit.
All right then. Representation and identity. So a Black media hub network would provide a platform for Black British voices and stories, fostering a sense of identity and belonging for the Black community. It would also challenge the current media landscape that often lacks diverse representation.
Is this true,
It's a big fact, man. 100%.
Max?
Yeah, definitely. Really shit you ever wrote.
Okay.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we always talk about what representation, identity, right? Talking about having the right people in certain places, and sometimes when we get those people there, we say, "Oh, they don't really represent us."
Yeah.
Now you've got people from amongst yourselves.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that can't be an excuse no more.
Nope.
All right then. Countering negative stereotypes. Again, Black-owned media can control the narrative and combat negative stereotypes, often perpetrated by mainstream media. That's also something that
We know
also
how they
say. Exactly.
We know how
You know what
they
I'm
do.
saying? We all look the same, apparently. But again, that's just one thing.
Aye,
Right?
sometimes we participate in that same tomfoolery.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be that kind of stuff there, but it needs to be some sort of balance for
Facts.
progression,
Yes,
right?
100%.
We can't build on just filth, right?
No,
We need to
Alright.
be able to control the conversation.
100%.
100%, man. And yeah, man, it can also showcase the full spectrum of Black British experiences and achievements. We can't look to other people who are not part of the community to speak for us or to represent us, to put things out there that really, that we can see ourselves in. You know what I'm saying? It's
100%.
incumbent upon us to do that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Community building and empowerment. Again, we speak about this just last week. We were talking about this. It's all good to want better representation, but ownership is key. That's the only person who can actually have a voice is the one who's controlling and owning that particular thing, right? So this central hub will connect Black communities across Britain, fostering a sense of shared experiences and solidarity. It could also provide a platform for Black British businesses and entrepreneurs to reach a wider audience. When it comes to challenging racism and social justice, again, we speak about this all the time. We speak about certain communities having certain things in place to make sure they have some form of defense.
Yeah.
This could be definitely that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So Black media can be a powerful tool for giving voices to issues of racial injustice and discrimination in Britain. It can also hold institutions accountable and advocate for social change.
Do you know how powerful that would be if it is that we can mobilize and hold institutions to account? Do you understand what that would mean if it is something happens with one of ours? I know. Take the latest, was it Brixton?
Yeah.
With the dragon? Is it
Oh,
Blxck or is
no,
it
they're
Peckham?
Peckham
Peckham.
Peckham.
Yeah,
Just
Peckham
imagine
Head
if it is that we had an entire machine behind us to say, all right, we are going to basically mobilize. We're going to arrive at this particular place. This is what we're going to be doing. This is what we're not going to be doing. And we let everybody who consumes the content on our platform know about that across all of the shows. Do you understand how we shut stuff down immediately?
But you know that even some things wouldn't even happen because people are aware
Precisely.
that
Thank you very much.
there's something in place.
Yep.
Should anyone start acting stupid, there's already something in place.
And that's why I keep saying I envy certain communities
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
they have
They show up and show out.
federations and foundations of power.
Yeah,
So that, hey, let me not even go to
yeah.
say a thing or do a thing because
Yeah.
of fear of that particular
Yeah.
machine being mobilized to actually do something.
Because
So,
black people, we do show up and show out. We just don't have the machine there.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? So
All right, next slide.
This is obviously one that you guys know I care about.
just kidding me. I can't even see anymore. So I'm just taking your word for it.
Economic opportunity.
Oh yeah, this is
You
his
know what I'm
vibe,
saying?
boy.
Economic opportunity.
Let's have it.
A thriving black media network would create jobs and economic opportunities within the black British community. It would contribute to a more diverse and inclusive media landscape in Britain. Let me add another point, Brett. It will prevent us from begging. No more begging. No more asking for this, that, and the third. It's demand. Demand or do for self. That's it. There's no more, oh, please, what about
Please,
us?
sir, can I have some more?
Forget all of that. That's childish. You know what I'm saying? Now we do for self.
100%. All right, then. All right, so many of y'all would have remembered Radar. You remember Radar, Mugs?
Yeah, I've been on there.
Radar Radio.
Yeah, remember when it used to be the cultural check-in point for the
I think
scene?
that's where I made my first 3 shots appearance.
All right, then. All right,
Oh,
then.
yeah, features were on there. Big up free shots.
Yes, so we need our own media hub where everybody that is a visiting celebrity or person, I don't know, from Africa, America, Australia, doesn't matter. They normally come through here, they pass through BBC, pass through, the normal media
Yeah,
Yeah,
ones.
media run.
We
yeah.
need our own for them to pass through.
Absolutely.
And you know full well, if it is that we are controlling the culture, we're curating the culture, we're setting every single trend that's in the culture. I'm not just talking about black culture. We are
the culture.
popular culture.
Absolutely.
We are youth culture because we influence youth culture. Do you understand? So once it is that we have our central hub, they're coming through there and saying, all right, anywhere I'm going to be doing my exclusive or announcing this, that, and next, it's here first that I am touching down.
Yep.
If we are able to do that, we now flip everything on its head. We can join everybody else at the seat of the table, at the head of the table.
All right.
Period.
then.
You
At
better
the
top
head
that.
All
At
right
the
then.
head of the table, honey.
All right.
I just want a seat on the head.
I want to head of the
Tribal
table.
chief.
All right. Pew.
Not pure.
This is, and some of you all obviously have already seen a few of these images, obviously, but everybody in the TDA chat has not.
Yeah.
This is a floor plan of one of the spaces that we're looking at, right? This is the expansion of the studio aspect of the project, yes? 3 verticals. Remember what the 3 verticals are, people?
Absolutely. Expansion. The podcast network. And the DSP. Okay, I pay attention in class.
That's infrastructure, baby!
Okay.
All right, then. All right. So, in this network, Emmanuel, what type of shows are we looking to basically bring to them?
Without talking too much about the
Yeah, you
specifics
can't
and the
speak.
Because we
details.
can't.
Please.
You know,
You
we
know what I'm
can't. We didn't get them to sign NDAs this morning. We can't.
Exactly. But yeah, as you can see on the screen, man, it's going to be loads of. The best way, I guess, would be to kind of talk about the equivalents that's out there. So Breakfast Club,
Just move a bit.
just stand up here, if you don't mind. TDA,
We've already started.
you know what I'm saying? What's that? The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, of course. Mr. Graham Norton's show, Talk Sport, Loose Women, the equivalents of those. When I say equivalent, no copycatting.
Not
No.
Just to help you understand.
Yeah.
just for
that's-
reference points.
Exactly, just for reference points. Again, TDA is not like Breakfast Club. One is superior. You know what I'm saying? So exactly.
Okay.
That's sort of thing. But yeah, like Ben saying, just as a reference point. But yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. So, how can we achieve all of this? Right? These fantastic things that we're saying and showing you on the screen. All right. Like I said, we've been working diligently. Over the past 2 years, the New Black team has been talking to everybody that would listen. We have been asking our network. Sometimes I'll come to Margs and Loons and say, hey, I'm looking for something from somebody. Can you point me to somebody within your network that I can basically chop it up with? And everybody, whether it's Taser, whether it's Marvin, whether it's Tolly, they have been introducing me to the right people. Like I said, I have spoken to your loved ones and they have turned up for community, right? This is the biggest kept secret over the last 2 years. And it needs to be seen, realized. Now, we are going to be having a live show. A live show of live shows.
Like you've never experienced before, ever.
This year, we plan to have, for the first time, give me some horns.
That's right.
Every single podcaster you've come to love and adore are going to turn up for the people.
Yep.
And they're going to be on the stage, not at the same time.
No, that's too much.
Not the same. That's a bit too much.
That's a bit too much.
But they're all going to be represented in some form of fashion at this show.
Yes.
You're going to have your 3 shots.
Okay.
You're going to have your no behavior.
Okay.
You're going to have your receipts.
Okay.
You're going to have your 90s babies.
Okay.
90s babies.
You're making me sick.
Everybody who actually cares about building something,
Yeah.
legacy for this culture in which we occupy, we push, but we don't get the credit for it, by the way, economically. They have said, I will answer the call. So they will all be on this stage on that particular one-off evening.
Yeah.
However, it's not going to be like any podcast you've ever seen before.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a podcast show. It's going to be a cultural showpiece for Black Britain. You're going to have a little sprinkle of who? Little artists. We're going to entertain you.
Yep.
We're going to entertain you. We're going to have some skits. We're going to have some conversation. But most importantly, we're going to introduce change.
Absolutely.
We're going to give you an insight into what the future could be like. From the voices in which you never thought would be able to come together as one and say, we want to build this.
Yep.
So, this is going to be a fundraiser. And we are going to be giving you an opportunity to get in on this.
Absolutely.
We are building legacy. We are building
Generational wealth.
what I would say is Black Britain's version of
Very
the
important.
BBC. We're going to be a foundation. We're going to be a trade body.
Yep.
Yep.
And you are going to be able to buy equity. We're not just going to be asking for handouts. Are we, Emmanuel?
Not at
We're
all.
not going to be begging.
Nope.
We're building something. And again, we've had conversations and agreements with all of these people that are going to be turning up.
Yeah.
All these names I've just mentioned,
They're on board.
we have agreements with all of them,
Absolutely.
and they're all equity holders in this project. They are already. Did you receive your share certificate?
Yes, sir.
Did you like them shares?
Yes, sir.
Right then. So when I say we're building something, it's not a just throw some tutu in the air.
Yeah, absolutely.
No. We are actually saying there is a value proposition based on what it is that we're doing. We have the entire scene coming to say, I am turning up to say we are building this together. The
Don't
value
need that.
proposition is wild.
It's mad.
Imagine able to basically gather the following and the marketing ability of every single person I've just mentioned. At any point in time, any brand will come to say, hey, can we pay you for a little post for this? We've said we are monopolizing this thing for our community.
Yes.
Everybody is turning up. Every single trendsetter, every single industry definer is coming through to say, I am going to be a stakeholder in this particular project. This is community past what we ever thought was possible. So on this particular day, everybody's going to see the investment is going to be a crazy, no risk. Hey, everything has a risk. Yeah. But we are taking not boxes.
Stephen
to
said, hey,
say
but
this is.
Too far.
You know how VCs are normally looking for like a unicorn, like a big white whale, where all of the pieces of the we just need the bloody capital to be thrown in. All right, we don't need the capital. If you want to get involved in this, hey, it's all good for you. This is happening either which way. It's inevitable.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, before this live show, there'll be a couple campaign videos that are going to be dropping. We're going to make as much noise as possible. The tagline for the new Blxck is "In the pursuit, disturb everything." You like that, right?
Oh, love
You
that.
like that vibe, right,
I love
Mr. Killy?
disruption.
In the
Is it
pursuit,
killing?
disturb everything. And we are hoping to disturb everything with these campaigns that we're going to be dropping. The first is going to be a piece, and you're going to enjoy it, but it's just going to be a taster. Just to let you know the vibe we're on, what we believe, why we are doing what we're doing, who we're standing up for. It's going to be obvious. It's going to be followed up by an announcement by myself. Yes, I'm going to be on camera.
Ooh!
I'm going to be on camera.
Ladies, hold your panties.
Men too. Diddy.
You know what? Yeah. Everybody, hold on to your wigs,
everybody,
child.
I'm good. I'm good. Y'all do
Hold
what you
on
need
to
to
your
do.
wigs,
But
okay?
the most important thing is that y'all understand. I'm aware of what is in front of us. I'm aware of what might happen if it is that we say we are all looking to change the status quo. I'm aware of that. And I'm uniquely aware that the space in which it is God has provided the resources for me to create here
Absolutely.
has allowed a lot of people to put their faith in me, their trust in me, and I do not take that lightly. Every single day, Esther knows I do not take that lightly.
No, it does not.
So I'm going to make sure, even getting this together, we have made it so beneficial to every single party. This is not a just help a one individual type of thing. It needed to be a proof of concept that we could all do something without stabbing each other in the back.
Yep.
With this mentality of this crabs in the bucket, all of that needed to be just obliterated.
Yeah.
And we've done that. However, I know that this particular initiative needs a face, needs a brand, needs a voice, and everybody should know by now that I only care for others. I care for my loved ones. I care for those who are family. And I now have an extended family, and I must make sure that everything goes how it needs to go. Legally, it needs to go swimmingly.
Yeah.
If there's anything that crops up that needs addressing, it needs to be done transparently. So I'm going to be putting my face to this, and I'm going to make an announcement. After that is going to be the main campaign video. The one that everybody has turned up for.
Boy.
Everybody has turned up for this particular video. And it is not long. I would never say it's long because I have attention span. But for those...
It's everything you need to know.
But for those who get triggered by...
Timestamps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little 10 minutes, but everything in there you need to take in
Absolutely.
because everybody has turned up and has had their say. So when this drops, I need everybody to watch it. I need them to share it. I need them to quote tweet it and leave their particular take on it.
Yeah.
I need them to send it in their WhatsApp groups. I need them to push it. Now, there is a reason as to why is we're telling the TDA crew before we let the rest of the world know.
Sure.
We always give you guys exclusives.
Absolutely.
And we would love for our TDA community to have the first pop at getting involved in this. I know you guys would support either which way. I know some of y'all have been dying. Brent, when are we starting this? Brent, you show me this, that, next. When? The time is now.
Okay.
The time is what, Emmanuel?
Now.
Time
No.
is now.
So, you've heard me talking about Stephen now and again for different reasons. I think you've even heard Stephen.
They've heard Stephen.
You've heard Stephen.
That time when you saw why you could run faster than Stephen? Yeah, they heard Stephen. They once know.
So, all right. Back in the book. Get back in the book. So Stephen is going to be sharing a little information about the investment opportunity present. Again, this is going to be so amazing for me. When I first found out what Stephen was able to basically do with this project as it pertains to some of the initiatives that the government has been giving to startups. And he was able to basically get this done. I just knew this means this is inevitable. This means this was destined.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Stephen is going to be... All right, Stephen's ready.
Okay.
When I pulled up the Discord, I was like, is he going to be here? Is he going to be here? All right, cool. And I'm aware that it's already
Stephen's
past
been
his
ready.
time, but he's been waiting patiently. So let me bring him up to speak. Sorry, invite to speak. And then
I'm going to make it a little bit more because I can't see.
And
You ready
let
for some
me
food?
see. Stephen even has his own. He has his own little deck. Look.
Jeez.
Morning, Stephen.
Right, not,
Stephen reporting live.
not,
Stephen, can you hear us?
not technical difficulties.
Stephen, are you muted?
What do you want?
Stephen had one job.
Wherever you get to, could you knock yourself out?
Can you hear Stephen? Let me see. I might have to just send him a WhatsApp.
Got a stage for it.
Impossible.
Impossible, man.
I checked this last night and it was working sweetly.
Big up everyone in the chat that's contributing. Good to see everyone is excited and, you know what I mean? They're feeling the positive energy.
Is that what's happening?
No, they're loving it, Brent.
Yeah,
Good,
man.
good,
They're
good,
loving
good.
it. They've even been asking, how do we invest? How do we this? How do we that?
They
How do we
know.
support?
They know, man.
They're ready, man.
All right. No, Steve, I can't hear you. So let me end the Discord and start again. And then let's see if it works this time. All right. Whilst it is that we're waiting on Stephen,
I just got Greg's.
Esther.
You sure?
Brent.
You sure?
Look like a rat caught in the headlights. Look.
You mean?
Yeah. So I've been talking to you over the years, right?
You've been talking a lot, Brent.
And you've been privy to all of the backdoor conversations and whatnot.
No, did he?
No, did he, child?
No, did he? Did he?
You know, so funny. I thought about saying it, but I thought this is a serious moment.
All right. Stephen, join the Discord again.
Are you telling him via YouTube?
He's listening, I
There's
would
gonna be a
believe,
delay in
via
it.
Discord. Maybe. Maybe you're right.
I mean, he would have caught it. I mean, it's done now. He's caught up now.
Do you want some M&Ms?
Yes, we can
Look
hear
at
you,
that,
man.
Stephen.
Do you want M&Ms?
After all that time wasted yesterday testing it, it still can't do the thing properly. What happened to you, man?
Sorry.
Joker.
Hey,
No, cool. All right, good morning, everyone. You all right?
Yes.
All good, man. How are you?
Nice, bud. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I've been listening in, so obviously it's my time. Yeah,
All right, then.
it's my time. Yeah,
Talk to the
so
people, man.
this guy. Now, obviously, the main thing that I've been hearing, and the more I hear it, the more it just continues to fill me with excitement. Is the fact that, as it keep being said, the time is now, man. There's a lot of things that we've been doing in the background, a lot of things we've been working on over the years, and it's finally coming to that stage where we're able to say, all right, boom, the time is now. Do you know what I'm saying? And one of the main things for me is always about infrastructure. It's good having conversations about what people want to do, people's dreams and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't have the infrastructure to make the stuff happen, it's basically useless. You know what I'm saying? And what we've been doing is just ensuring that infrastructure is there. All the T's have been crossed and the I's have been dotted. Everything we've been lining up is for this time. So I know I don't have a lot of time, so I'll just jump straight in. And one of the main things I wanted to focus on was in relation to the investment piece. Now, as Brent mentioned earlier, one of the main things that I think is important to understand is that when it is that we're talking about ownership, the way that you get ownership is obviously to have either something handed down to you or for you to be able to invest in something. For you to be able to invest in something, it means that you need to have that understanding of what your risks are in relation to your investment. And I think every investor, be it on a small scale or on a large scale, they understand that investments can always carry risk. So from our perspective, what we're thinking is that, okay, cool, how can we ensure that the people that are investing in TNB have the most risk averse situation that they can jump into? And one of the main things that we've realized is that the government, as Brett mentioned, has two specific schemes that they've basically introduced. And this is quite a few years ago, but they've recently updated it in April 2023. And those two schemes are called SEIS and EIS. And just so you know, some people may know, some people may not, but it's a Seed Enterprise Investment Scheme and the Enterprise Investment Scheme. And essentially, the whole point of these schemes is to ensure that we can incentivize investors to invest in early stage startups.
Okay.
Now, just generally across the board, the government, what they care about is, well, what they're supposed to be caring about is the growth in the economy. So anything that they're doing is supposed to feed and harbor that type of initiative. So this SEIS and EIS is targeted towards companies who they believe are able to grow the economy, be it from jobs, be it from tech, be it from all these type of things. The whole point is that they allow investors to invest in companies that have a level of assurance from their perspective that can potentially provide this economic growth. So there are four key objectives that they look at. One is ensuring that that investor who's investing in these startups have a level of reduced risk. So it's just helping to mitigate their risk. They want to ensure that there's dual benefit. They want to ensure that the benefit is one for the investor, but two for the company that the investor is investing in. As I mentioned before, the growth companies are the ones that they're targeting. And the way they do that is to enable tax incentives for the investors investing in these particular companies. Now, as Brett mentioned, what we've been doing over the last couple of years, but specifically focused on the last 6 months, is trying to ensure that we strategically position ourselves, that we are in a nice spot that we can now say to investors who understand what our vision is, understand what our dreams are, to be able to say, cool, you are a company that we can invest in, because I can see that there's a level of assurance that you can meet those specific criteria that the government has set out for these type of companies. So thankfully, over the last few months, we've been working at it diligently, and we managed to secure advance assurance for these two specific schemes to the value of £2 million.
That's amazing.
Now, that's just right. Right now, that's just numbers and words. Yeah, that's just numbers and words in a piece of paper. I want to really try to bring to life for you what that actually means, like tangibly, so that I'm not just talking numbers. I'm not just saying government. I'm not just saying HMRC. You can actually tangibly see how an investor investing in TMB can actually benefit. All right. So Brent, just switch to the next slide there.
Will do, because I
can't even see the screen, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if you're there. So hopefully
I'll
you're
let you
there.
know when I've done it. It takes a few seconds.
Cool.
Bang.
It could take you one. It could take you 1 second.
All right, it's up.
Okay. Yeah. So as I mentioned before, the whole point is that these investors are able to gauge and obtain specific benefits while investing in SEIS and EIS companies. So for now, I'm just gonna kind of replace SEIS with TMB, because essentially we are now advance assured up to 2 million for these specific benefits if investors want to invest in TMB. And there are 5 main benefits that these investors can get. Both schemes, as I said, we are assured for, but there's slight differences in these schemes. And there's a reason I want to point this out, because this is why we're having this conversation with the TDA crowd now ahead of our release, just so that you're able to gain the maximum benefit from these schemes. So if I just look at the first two, for example, so income tax relief and capital gains relief. So those are the kind of two main ones that I want to focus on. So income tax relief, essentially what this means is that any investor who is investing in TNB, if they invest, let's just say 10,000 as an example, they can get back up to 50% of their invested money in TNB. They can get back that money in the form of income tax relief. Okay? So essentially what you're saying is that if you were to put in money into TNB and you now have your own personal income tax bill that you get. You can say, I can now use £5,000 of that money I've invested to now reduce my tax bill. All right. And for anybody who has invested in the past, you understand that you can invest in entities and companies that don't have this, and you don't have any money back, any relief at all from this. So understanding that you can gain 50% of your money back straight away in income tax relief is amazing. Right?
Facts.
That's just one particular part of it. Now, that's specific to SCIS, which is the earliest stage investment scheme. Now, what I need to mention is that within SCIS, as a company, we can receive up to £250,000 worth of investment in this SCIS scheme. So once it is that we reach that £250,000 limit, it basically cuts off. And anybody investing after that point is not able to receive that 50%. What it will then fall into is they would now receive the EIS benefit. And that EIS benefit essentially allows you to still receive income tax relief, but at a rate of 30%. So you can see straight away that, yes, they both have their benefits, but the earlier investors will receive much more of a benefit than those coming later down the line. And that's the main reason why we want to have this conversation early up front, so that we're giving our as Ben said, family,
Day
giving our
ones.
family that
Day
opportunity,
ones.
exactly, you know what I'm saying, to be able to see the maximum benefit at that point in time. And then if I quickly move on, just because of time, if we're talking about now capital gains relief, now regardless of whether you're an income taxpayer, whether you're paying tax or not, this is applicable to everybody, because once you invest in anything and it gains traction and you gain any profit, you're gonna have to pay capital gains tax. Full stop. All right. So once again, investing in TMB, what you'll be able to do is that, let's just give an example again. You have 10K, invest 10K. Whatever you've invested in grows to 15,000. That additional £5,000 benefit, normally you have to pay capital gains tax on that. But if you're invested in TMB, basically what happens now is that that gain is tax free. So you're literally just walking away with the money that normally the government would tax you for. So you can see straight away once again that the emphasis is on investing in companies that have that advanced assurance, which we have. And then moving on really quickly. So the last two is in inheritance tax relief and loss relief. So inheritance tax relief, it may sound morbid, but the reality is we're talking about generational wealth here. So understanding a way that you can protect that investment, not just for you, but for your family and for your generation, is what we are keen on, and we're 100% backing this. So inheritance tax relief essentially means that, once again, just using that 10K example, if you do invest the £10,000, after, let's just say, once again, it could be morbid, I'm saying this, but after that 2-year period, if it is that something does happen to you, those shares are untouched by the government. They cannot tax you on that. They can't do it because you've invested under this particular scheme in TMB, because we're advanced assured for that amount. And the last one, loss relief. Once again, all investors would know, once you do invest something, there's a potential that you may sell your shares for a lower value than you bought it for. Now, in this case, God willing, it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Everything is going to be up from then, but you have to be able to realistically plan for that going forward. So essentially what loss relief is, that you're saying that any net loss that you make on your shares, you will be able to get relief from that in the form, once again, of tax savings. And the whole point of this loss relief is to reduce your exposure to literally 27.5% of the money that you put in. So what that does, it tells you that if you put in, let's say, £1, your risk exposure is only 27.5p. Yeah. So basically 27p. And that is a mixture of the loss relief. That's a mixture of the income tax relief. All of that is to ensure that investors who are invested in SCIS and ES companies have the least amount of risk exposure possible. And that is just due to the fact that, once again, the government are focused on trying to get these specific type of companies, these ones that can increase the economic benefit of the country, off the ground and moving. And that's the reason why we focus a lot of time ensuring that we can get this assurance, so that for anybody investing in TMB, they have this at their disposal. Yeah. So, Brian, if you move on to the next slide.
Yes, I can. And bear in mind, I'm going to be clipping this topic of the day, and I'm going to be putting it as a separate upload on YouTube, so that anybody who is listening, who have friends and family who are looking for investment opportunities, they can just send them this video with the entire pitch in it. You don't have to basically explain what this is. Certain parts of this particular presentation you may not even understand. I see people like Fanan completely baffled right now. That's fine. That's fine. But there are people out there who understand this and need these nitty-gritty details before going forward. So we are just showing you that we have covered all bases. Every single base. Sorry, Steve, go on.
No, it's cool. It's cool. And that's a good point that you mentioned there. The reality is that this is not going to be something that is fully understood by every single person. But that really isn't the point. The real point is so that you understand that the infrastructure is there, that you understand that all of these reliefs are there, that you understand that the work has been done to ensure that any investor investing in TNB has at their disposal this access, the access to these benefits. And that's the main point. It's not something that you may understand straight off. And at the end, obviously, I'm sure Brent will send around the link direct to HMRC website. So all of these things you can see in full detail and peruse at your own will. But the last slide is just, I think, off the back of questions that people may ask, just in terms of, all right, cool, you've told me all of this, I've told us all this information. All right, so what next? How can I actually, invest in TNB? Now, once again, just really quickly, the reality is that what we've done, we've teamed up with a legal tech platform called Seed Legals, and essentially over the years they've helped raise over 1.3 billion in investments, and billion with a B, just to clarify. Yeah? So all of this is from a perspective of experience. It's working with a legal company who've gone through the rounds. They've done this over and over and over again. And what we've done, we've teamed up with them to be able to get this infrastructure, this legal infrastructure in place, so that when it comes to the issuance of your shares, when it comes to the maintenance of cap tables, all of these things that are relevant for a company to be able to thrive, sorted, right? So how are you able to actually invest in TNB? So what will happen after this live, or later on today or tomorrow? I'm not sure, Brent, when you're going to do it.
I'm sending it after you finish talking, boy.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
All right.
There you go. So as soon as I hang up and I say peace, you're going to get a link. And this link essentially is a link to our pitch page, our Seed Legals pitch page. And what it is that this is the starting point for how you're able to get onto this track of being able to invest and get shares. And before I even go through this, I want just to clarify again. When we say invest and we say invest in shares, what we're talking about, as Emmanuel mentioned before, is about ownership. Yeah. It's about understanding that once you invest in a share, which is an ordinary share, what you will get is this ordinary share holds voting rights. This ordinary share holds dividend rights. So we're not saying we're going to give you shares and you can't do anything with the shares. The whole point is that you will be owners, part owners of this organization, of this movement, of this dream. So it's a situation where these shares will allow that to happen for you. So once again, you get the link, you click through to it, and as you see, you get the information where you can put in your details, your name, your email address, and then you'll be able to classify yourself as a sophisticated investor. And then once you go through that, you can register your interest on that pitch page. That pitch page will take you through basically what we've been doing, the people that Brent have been speaking to you about that are involved in this, that are actually tastemakers within this arena. Everything is on there in terms of what the vision and the dream is. And then you'll be able to register your interest. And when you register your interest, you'll come up with a page that essentially allows you to say how much it is you want to invest. Now that will go directly through to Seed Legals. Once it goes through to Seed Legals, all the documentation, all the legal documentation, everything that has been prepared and drafted beforehand can then be forwarded to yourself to be able to look through, review, sign, and everything that needs to be done just to take you from where you are now to being share owners of the TNB, of TNB generally.
Pause. Marks,
Yep.
did you get your...
Oh yeah, I got my certificate.
You got your certificate?
I'm gonna
You got
laminate
your
it and put it
shares?
on my wall.
All right.
How did you know? I was going to frame mine up, have it on the wall.
Sorry, Stephen, go on.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I know time is running, so I just wanted to make one last point, just so once again to kind of drill home why we're doing this earlier, why we're having this conversation earlier. So on the pitch page, you will see multiple things. You will see the amount we're looking to raise. You'll see the valuation. You see the scheme that we're signed up to, which is the SAS and EIS scheme. But I wanted just to give this time to kind of quickly just discuss this strategy that we have. So you understood from the earlier conversation, Brent mentioned the live event being that fundraising event. Now, we're trying to do this in 2 parts, right? Now, the first part is before the actual fundraising event is to raise a certain amount of money. So that money that we're raising is going to be attached to a particular valuation. And what that essentially means is that we're saying that, for example, the share price is X amount. And once you actually invest at that stage, at that particular share price, over time between now and that fundraising event, there's going to be a lot of traction, all right, to the company. So we're understanding that a lot of things are going to be happening between now and the time of the fundraising event. So any investor that invests at that early stage, at the time when the valuation is set at that pre-fundraiser value, by the time we get to the fundraiser, what's going to happen is that we're going to have an increase in valuation, which is going to immediately increase the actual capital that investor has invested at that point in time. And the reason that is because the share price would have changed between now and the time of the fundraising event. So you will see immediate increase, immediate attraction to your share value. And this is the main reason why, as I mentioned before, we're doing this early. We're doing this early so that the initial investors can see that instant appreciation. And it's important that is noted just so that you understand what our ethos is, what our plan is. So you know that from now until the fundraising event, it's only upwards. And that's the main thing I just wanted to focus on just now. So as I said, if there are any general questions about this, Brent will be sending through the information for the HMRC link so people can see it. But if there's anything outside of this conversation that people want to get information on, you can get in contact with us and we can get into more detail if needed. But the pitch page, as I said, will kind of drive through everything and bring everything home for everyone who has questions. So
all right, so
you'll be all good.
Thank you very much, Stephen, for that. Those who are asking questions pertaining to this particular investment segment, we're going to be inviting Stephen on during the week next week for, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes. Can you spare 30 minutes or 40 minutes, Stephen?
Yeah.
To answer any questions that are submitted to us. So please take this in, gather the questions that you want, that you need answered, and we will let you know during the week when Stephen's going to be on, and you can get all of those particular questions answered. All right, Stephen, thank you.
Cool.
Wonderful presentation,
No
Stephen.
worries,
Thank you.
All good. All right. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you guys later.
See you
All right.
later.
Later.
Take care. Bye.
All right, so Esther, are you ready?
Been ready.
Marks, are you ready?
I was born already.
Manuel, are you ready?
Most definitely, man.
All right. Now, I need to stress, this isn't just us creating a little studio space,
All right.
a little cultural place for everybody to come and chill. This is going to be the heartbeat of change
Amen to that.
for our community.
Amen.
We are going to be able to influence youth culture. We can get them to vote on things that actually change things. If we're able to make those sleepy individuals, those uninterested individuals, be able to vote, to care about voting, we can literally say, anytime anything happens in government, you have to come through here to get our approval first. Because we will be able to influence a lost, a sleeping generation. And that represents the future.
Yeah.
We are building infrastructure for our culture. All right.
That's big, man.
All right. Let's continue
Goosebumps.
this day. What's next?
People's Journal.
People's
Do
Journal.
it.